Hello everyone and welcome to another video on This is Chess, and this time it's a new series called Road to 1800. I'm trying to push for that rapid elo chess.com, so my idea is to share with you guys my games, thought process, how I evaluate a position and all of that interesting stuff. So if you like the content, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment and like the video, and let's jump right into the first game. So I'm playing rapid game against my opponent from Indonesia, and the game starts with e4. I play c5, the Sicilian defense. I usually play this with black. He strikes the center, I take the pawn and he took back with his queen. I develop the knight, attacking the queen, which goes back. Now play a6, trying to avoid this pin on my knight. I develop his knight and I open away from a bishop with pawn to d6. He developed his knight to f3 and I go bishop g4, pinning the knight to the queen. He played his white bishop to e2, defending the knight, which is typical stuff here. I developed my knight, he played bishop to g5, and here I have multiple options. The first thing I thought of is kicking the bishop away with h6, but this is gonna be a mistake. If he takes, I take back with the pawn. I have two double pawns and an isolated pawn, which is not good for the endgame. Let's go back. So my idea was to play e5, opening away from my queen. If he takes, I can take back. The engine didn't like this move. He wanted e6 to prevent the knight from coming to d5. I didn't see that in the game, to be honest, so I went e5, developed his queen, and I go out with the bishop. He castled. Now I can kick the bishop with no issues. He takes the knight, I took back, and now he jumped with his knight to d5, which is a good outpost for the knight. He's going to take my bishop. I don't have any issues with that. I can take back with the queen. I have my pawn on dark squares, so I should be fine. I castled here and he wanted to kick my bishop away, releasing the pin. I went back and he surprised me with this move, pawn to g4. He's really wanted to get rid of that pin, but this leaves like huge weaknesses on the dark squares from the king, and I'm gonna need to exploit that later. Now he played king to h2, trying to hide it after like opening all the gates to that king, but he made a blunder here by leaving this pawn on e4 to be taken. So I took the pawn, he took my bishop, and I took back with the queen. Now we're trying to have a plan to attack my opponent and trying to convert this game to a win. He moved his pieces, trying to consolidate and find better squares for his knight, but now I jumped right away with my knight, trying to get rid of his bishop. With my bishop here covering this diagonal, I should be fine and I can deliver a checkmate or make sure I'm winning in the end game. He's trying now to open the board. His idea is to make a way for his rook attacking my queen. I was afraid of this move. I didn't want to take. I thought maybe he can take my knight. I didn't see that I have it defended with my queen. I can take back, but also if he takes the pawn like this and he takes with the rook, I have an extra pawn, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be able to deliver this and have a win in the end, so let's go back. Okay, he played pawn to f4. I went away. As I said, I have lots of dark squares to exploit, so I'm trying to use that. My opponent kept pushing pawns. I took the bishop as I wanted. He took back, attacking my bishop, and now I should have moved it to c6, but I played bishop to d5 and he attacked me with c4, and I went back to c6, just losing the tempo, but yeah, that should be fine. My opponent kept pushing pawns forward, doesn't have any good moves, and he's trying to find something with that. And yeah, I had this idea when I tried to use that against him. I played pawn to g6. If he takes, let's say if he takes like this and I take back, I open a way for the rook. He needs to take and I take back. With the bishop, the rook and the queen, I should be able to deliver a checkmate and win the game. Let's go back. My opponent didn't take and played the best move, which is knight to f3, attacking my queen. I had to go all the way back trying to avoid that, and my idea was to use this passed pawn and promote it later to a queen and trying to deliver a checkmate. He didn't see that, he kept pushing pawns. I played pawn to e4, attacking his knight, and here in this position he played this killing blunder, knight to d4. He didn't see this fork on e5, checking the king and forking the knight. He moves his king and I take the knight with the check. He's trying to hide from it and I have a discovered check with pawn to e3. He goes back, and now my idea is trying to take. If he takes back, I move my king. If, let's say, he plays like rook to d1, I have a check with my rook, and this should be a mate in 3, and that's unstoppable. So this position, I took the pawn, he didn't took back, he saw that maybe, and played rook to d1 right away. And here I hide my queen behind the pawn. My idea is to deliver a checkmate on h1, and to defend that, my opponent played queen to h2. But that gave me the option to push the pawn, forking the two rooks. Now I'm guaranteed to take one of them. And he took back, he doesn't have really any good moves. I took one of the rooks with the check. He takes with the rook. Now I'm gonna use that plan. I moved my king to h7, moving it to give away for my rook to check the king. He kept attacking my queen. He doesn't really have any good moves in this position. It's a mate in 4. Played check with the rook. I didn't see the mate in 4. I just had the check and I played it. My opponent covered that with the rook, but yeah, in this position I found the mate in 1 with queen to e1. And yeah, that should be the end of this game. I really hope you guys like the way I'm trying to like analyze moves and evaluate the position, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, make sure to stay here, lots of other games are coming, and see you in another video soon.